New details tonight into the fire that killed a local businessman over the weekend. Fire officials are now saying when firefighters arrived, they heard calls for help coming from the home of John Williams. Investigators also say tonight that Williams' estranged husband, Craig Crawford, was at the house when the fire started and he did not call 911. Police say Williams filed for divorce from Crawford earlier this month. Crawford's now being investigated for aggravated murder and arson.
That investigation is one of 3 weekend incidents being investigated as domestic violence. And in the coming weeks, a new campaign is being launched to bring more awareness to Utah's growing problem. News specialist Mike Anderson's live in Salt Lake City with our top story. Mike?
Yeah, Dave, according to the Utah Domestic Violence Coalition, nearly half of the homicides statewide are tied to domestic violence. So it's kind of a going trend here. They say on top of that, recent numbers show that there's a good chance that someone you know is living with domestic abuse.
Near Huntsville, Weber County deputies arrest 60-year-old Frank Michael Bickham in connection with his wife's death. On the same day, Salt Lake City police investigate this arson and homicide. The body of gastronomy owner John Williams found inside his estranged husband. Craig Crawford later arrested.
Utah doesn't have very many homicides overall, but of the homicides we have, an exceptionally high amount of those are perpetrated by an intimate partner.
Jen Oxborough, executive director with the Utah Domestic Violence Coalition, says unfortunately it's not all that surprising. Even more upsetting, the news that Williams had tried to get a protective order against Crawford.
Very tough to hear. You know, less than 10% of the DV cases that were studied in the Salt Lake District Courts ever had an order of protection.
Oxborough says most Utahns have no idea how prevalent domestic violence really is.
Our system is really full. It's maxed out. We don't have a lot of state funding.
To help build awareness, billboards with this ad will start showing up around the Wasatch Front later this month.
1 in 3 women in Utah will experience intimate partner violence and abuse in her lifetime. That's exceptionally high.
To prevent future homicides, she believes state legislators need to secure more funding for programs, and more people need to reach out and get help for themselves and others.
There is a lack of awareness about how serious this problem is in Utah, and my hope is that this campaign that we're launching will help raise awareness so that people can work together as a team to better address this problem.
And there is a statewide domestic violence hotline. That number is 1-800-897-LINK. Even if counselors can't help you right away, get into a shelter, they can help victims plan and get ready to get to safety. Back to you.
Mike.